Mr. Puranji, I need to ask you your lifestyle. Since you are, very actively involved into all of these things, and I've always seen you happy, and I know your lifestyle is very hectic because you're IT consultant and IT, you have a lot of hats to wear, and I'm sure you have a family life as well, all the daily things. I have to ask you, you tell me your lifestyle. So based on lifestyle, maybe I can use you as an example and give you some suggestions. So people who are listening to us as an audience and can maybe get benefit out of that. And I think Mana TV will get more, influence in that as well. So Mr. Puranji, can you please give me your lifestyle?
So thank you, Pratibha ji. You have rightly said. So let me give my lifestyle to you. I start my day at 6:30 and have some water and have a 20 minutes, at least 20 to 30 minutes walk, and have some few calls, and then start my day with my IT job. And probably at around 3 o'clock, I take a break and, have some walk along with my kid, have some time with her to play, and then come back again. Night shift starts from almost 6 o'clock to, I can say, 11:30. And I just have some time, 11:30, and I sleep by 12 o'clock. And again, same routine, 6:30, 7, I get up. So that's my hectic life. And in this, in between, on and off, there'll be calls, messages, and all those kinds of stuff. So definitely as an IT guy, it will be a hectic job. But most of the time, I feel happy on Saturdays, Sundays, at least doing one show and helping some people in the community. So definitely that's my lifestyle. So you tell me, what should I take here?
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Puram, for disclosing that to the audience of Mana TV and from your show. Good thing is that you forgot to mention about your food habits, right? You did mention about your lifestyle of your academic or work relationship with your, company or with your work relation, but you forgot about the nutrition part of that, right? So would you specify that?
Sure. So I have been transforming myself on the food habits too. I have reduced almost 15 lbs of weight, and I've been very healthy now. And I've been constantly monitoring my vitamins too on a yearly basis. And my food is, especially in the morning, I have like around 9:30, I have my food, maybe a couple of parathas or upma or mostly parathas. In the afternoon, I'll have my lunch around 1:30. Especially 1:30, I have some rice and curry and yogurt. Then in the evening, I started having 7:30. I'll have my 2 or 3 or 4 parathas, and that's all for me. And in between, I started having black coffee without milk. So at least one time black coffee, one time with lime. But that is pretty much the lifestyle about me.
Thank you for sharing that to the audience of Mana TV. And excellent job. For example, I think your lifestyle is a little different than other people. People are running and rushing. And I'm sure by looking at your facial expression, I would say that you're very well relaxed, and which is a very good key for any of the human being, right? So as I mentioned previously, is that everybody's body is different. Your height, weight, your lifestyle, your working conditions, and everything is totally different. Some people drive 40 minutes, 50 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour drive. And what are they doing? They're sitting in their cars for 2 hours. They don't anticipate that something can happen during that time as well, right? So ideally, if I have a lifestyle just like you, if you do say that, so I would definitely encourage you to, lifestyle has different aspect of it. Body conditions, for example, your protein, fat, and carbohydrates needs to be added in your diet on a regular basis, on a very consistent basis based on your body style, body type, right? So protein, fat, and carbohydrates. Now, these are the major nutrients, major group of substance that body needs, because your cellular metabolism is based on that, right? How much and what are you incorporating in your diets, correct? Now, protein, fat, and carbohydrates are essential for you to sustain your lifestyle. In a why? Because each cellular metabolism, cellular membrane is made up of that. Now, protein, fat, carbohydrates. A lot of people get too much concerned about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates gives you instant energy, okay? And fats gives you highest amount of energy. And protein balances in between these two. So it means if you have all of these things in your diets, definitely you'll balance your life, correct? On the other side, it's called micronutrients, phytonutrients. These are the actual components that are necessary to digest these major groups of the food groups I told about, right? Protein, fat, and carbohydrate. You have a raw material, but you don't have a cutting tools to make these protein, fat, and carbohydrate to give you energy that is missing, right? So even if you're eating roti, dal, chawal, or anything, whatever the food you're eating, pasta or anything, if you don't have a cutting tools, the food is going to be wasted. Food is going to sit there in your body and will never give you energy, correct? A lot of people do say that I eat well, but I am still tired. Reason why? Because they don't have cutting tools to properly cut down the food at the right time to right places, such as if you're eating, if your diet is fruit-based in the morning, definitely you have micronutrients, right? But ideally, not all of us eat one big bowl of fruits, which is necessary. 4 to 6 cups of whatever you need, it's not used. People don't use it. People are running, right? So people are not very organized in their diet pattern as well. So for you, let's say, for example, you're taking one daily vitamin is necessary in a daily, because most of the daily vitamins are good. Well, of course, I don't recommend everything. You need to check with your physicians or check your nutrition dietitians. And if you have any concern about that, you can always contact through Mr. Puramji. I can always give you suggestions based on that. Maybe you can, release my information later on at the end of this show. But so you will take daily vitamins, which has a lot of micronutrients. This should be organically grown, and it should have more solubility. And so that is the one. And vitamin C is needed for your, basically, it is also anti-stress too. Vitamin C and B complex. B complex, as I said, B1, B2, B5, B6, B12, all of these things work in a combination. It is also anti-stress, and it also maintains your nervous system. In nervous system, as you know, we all get nervous. We all have a lot of the consequences, right? So these things, these 3 vitamins I take without a break, and also iron supplement in between that. So iron is basically, if you know that men and women excrete iron content in their fecal material every single day. So people do not know that they're losing their iron content on a daily basis. So women loses the iron content during the menstrual cycle, and the men also lose that. So sometimes we don't know. Sometimes if you have a deficiency of iron, many of the women can see the body has more tiredness, because if there is no iron, there is no blood coordination, which means that, and I'm going to give you a very simple example of that. Iron is a main part of hemoglobin. Hemo means iron, globin means a protein. Hemoglobin is a kind of iron protein. And that iron protein is basically essential for grabbing oxygen from the environment and from your body. So the 4 oxygen is going to be attached with the hemoglobin. So if you have iron deficiency, guess what will happen? Iron, globulin, hemoglobin will not be functional, and you'll be losing 4 molecule of oxygen. Guess what? You'll be feeling tired, and your body needs oxygen. And oxygen means oxygen is required to your brain, right? So you'll be tired, you'll be sleepy all day, you will never know. You'll say, well, I ate my all chapatis and rotis and khana, everything. But you know what? In reality, you did not do a right job, because iron is needed. And iron is also very essential, because not everybody eats spinach every day, correct? Am I correct? Not everybody eats meat every day, correct? So, and you cannot eat spinach every day, but body needs it. Body will tell you, body cellular metabolism will require. Now, every 90 days, you have a new cells forming. So to make a new cell forming, you need to have some building material as well, right? If you don't have iron, the new cell will be formed without having good enough oxygen and good enough iron, right? Now, these are the things, correct? Now, so these are the things I just gave you example of that, like a daily vitamin and vitamin C and B complex and iron tablets are good essential for the day to start, right? Around 10 o'clock or so. You'll be surprised when you take the daily routine. When you take a lunch, of course, lunch is perfectly fine, it's good. But evening time, you get tired again, correct? By the time, so you can actually have B complex one more at around 4 o'clock in the evening. So that you're 4 to 9 o'clock, your body is going to be active. And Mr. Puramji, I think because you work night shifts as well. So you will see body has given you opportunity to incorporate your all metabolical, ingredients, which includes your micronutrients, your phytonutrients. That will give you more energy in the body. See, also in our professions, we cannot look tired, correct? Even though we have worked all day, we cannot say, well, I was working all day, so I'm not able to talk to you right now. But that is not a professional attire, correct? We cannot say that because of these reasons, I'm not able to connect with you and I'm feeling sleepy, things like that. You will appreciate what I was just talking to you all about. In the nighttime, you know that at age 40, you all know that at age 40, most of sports athletes, they probably take off, right? Their body will tell that, well, we're not going to work because of the conditions. And I tell you that, in my opinion, it may be a little bit controversial that body is not designed by age pattern. It's all decided by your mental thinking. That what age are you? If you mentally think you are 40 years of age, you definitely will act like that. If you think mentally you're age 60, you will act like that. If you reorganize your body, saying, well, I feel young and I look young and I am a young person, your body will give you mental thought process to process based on that. And guess what? You will see there are a lot of people, if you see, the example I can give you, Milkha Singh, right? Milkha Singh, I think he died at the age of 90 to 92, right? If you see his videos of 2-3 years before, prior to his death, you'll see he's dancing in some occasion. Now, can you all imagine people who are 90 years old, can they dance very well? Very rarely, right? Now, you also see a lot of people who are 40 years of age, they're also full of diseases, full of a lot of consequences. So basically, thinking is also important, and also taking care of your life, taking care of your well-being personally, because you're responsible for your health as well. And the nighttime, you can take that calcium, magnesium, and glucosamine. Okay, glucosamine basically it is a kind of supplement that is utilized for building block material for your calcium deposition. Mm-hmm. Now, glucosamine is also built up. It also is essential for cartilage building. Now, if you can see your backbone, and backbone is basically more like if you take a chain, okay? Each bone, 33 plus bones in your spine, is connected like a brick on the top of each other, right? In between your, bricks or the bones, you have it's like a padding material. The padding material is basically called cartilage. The cartilage is built based on your intake of the food habits, calcium, magnesium, glucosamine. If your glucosamine is missing, you will have a cartilage problem. And if you have a cartilage problem, then cartilage will not be there. So your bone is not going to be completely stabilized. It's going to start wobbling. You probably see people have spine pain, right? People have a back pain, right? Because their spine is not properly aligned. So there is a disalignment of your bones and things like that. So if you are already taking ingredients based on your diets, what will happen? Your body is going to be aligned. Let's say if you fall down somewhere, body will repair back again because you already have material inside the body, right? So things like that. Now, so if you take calcium, magnesium, glucosamine in the night, before you sleep, that will have a repair problem solved because you're sleeping just like a cementing. When you cement anywhere, you have to make some process that do not touch. So cement can be fixed overnight, correct? That's how the process is all about. Now, another thing is that a lot of people don't know those three things, important. If Mana TV audience are listening to me and hearing me, is that, a lot of people have a brain's issue. Sometimes they get stressed, they have a tension. Sometimes they don't sleep well, things like that. Now, I'm going to tell you two major important things called omega-3 and omega-6. Omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids are essential for nerve impulse in your brain. In your brain, you'll be very surprised, Pravinji, that brain is like a jello. Okay, you see our skull is protected by the bone structure, right? If you take the scenario of your brain inside, you will see it's so soft tissue. The tissue is so soft that it is like a jello. If you put the finger in the jello, what happens? Jello gets disturbed, right? Same thing here. So you can see the nature has made your brain protected. But one thing is that brain does not have any blood circulation that way. It is only into your skull, right? So internally in your brain, internal part of the brain, you will need good oxygen.
Yes.
Good oxygen means that your neurons and nerve cells are being protected. The neurons and nerve cells need only oxygen as well as all those ingredients that is called omega-3, omega-6, which can maintain your nervous problem, right? So I'm going to give you an example. I don't know whether people can go and look into it also. How many people know Albert Einstein?
Everyone
you
knows.
probably all, I'm sure know. And he was considered as one of those noted brainy person, correct? He was an intellectual person. So it is going to be, very laughing material for you, all the audience like that, because the only person I know who was born on March 14 is Albert Einstein. And sometimes I joke because I was born on that day as well. And so I think, so he is my ideal. Basically, I follow all those things through him. And if you go Google it that way, his brain was studied after he dies. Okay. So the scientists were trying to find out how come he was so intelligent, so superpower in his brain. What was the reason? And, you will be surprised that his neurons, I'm going to give example. For example, if you see my arm like this here. So these are like dendrites. These are like axons, okay? And these are all connected. All the nerves and neurons are connected, interconnected entire your brain. If you have disconnection, even small little part of nerve cells or neurons, what happens? The connections of memory is lost.
Wow.
So to maintain the memory lost, you need to have intact. Now, in his brain studies, there were the glial cells. The glial cells called glue cells. The glue cells are base cells where all the neurons were connected very well.
Wow.
That is why he was very, very brain person, right? So to connect all the neurons and nerves and all the things together, you need a big, good, basic, lifestyle. And I'm not going too deep inside the lifestyle, Mr. Einstein, but there are lifestyle that we can maintain, which is in our hand. And for that, omega-3 and omega-6 are necessary for taking that on a regular basis, because each nerve cell has a nerve impulse, it's like a current electricity passing around your brain, right? So at age 12, you're lacking into omega-6, okay? Omega-3 and omega-6 need to be in the balance, okay? So omega-3 is not being built in the body. Omega-6 is there, but to balance omega-3, omega-6, you need to have a balanced omega-3, right? So that way, what will happen? You will maintain your nervous power and nerve cells, right? So that can prevent your Alzheimer's, right? That can prevent also your forgetfulness, right? Sometimes we forget, correct? Now people say, well, I forgot my keys here, I forgot my this here. And people say, well, I have a problem with forgetting, It is not about that. Actually, sometimes the brain does not work well when you don't work well with your diets, right? Brain will exactly tell you, but it will not tell you mentally, physically. It will show in the type of symptoms, right? You will probably see that, So, it is again a laughing material. A lot of people ask me this question: how do you remember things, right? So, how do you remember things? Like, for example, I used to teach a lot of classes, and people ask me this question: you're going for this class to this class, and how do you know which class you're to teach what, right? So, if your brain is very clean and in a clear, then you know that you can adapt right there. So, I hope I have given a generic example of our lifestyle. Okay, back to you, Mr. Pratibha.
I think you have touched everything. It was very clear.